Imagine being an ancient human and living your whole life without ever seeing your own face clearly. No photos, no bathroom mirrors, no phone screens. Just quick, blurry flashes in water, disappearing the second the surface moved. You could recognize every face around you, your family, your friends, your enemies, even strangers passing by. But your own face? That was almost a mystery. Today, your face follows you everywhere. It is in bathroom mirrors, phone cameras, dark screens, car windows, elevator doors, and even tiny reflections on spoons. You can check it in seconds, again and again, without thinking. But for ancient humans, this was not normal. They could see the faces of everyone around them: a parent, a child, a friend, a rival, a stranger near the fire. They could read fear, anger, sickness, trust, and danger in other people's expressions. But their own face was different. It was not always available. It was not clear. It was not something they could study whenever they wanted. For most of human history, your face was something other people knew better than you did. Easy answer is, they probably looked in water. And that is partly true. A calm pond, a quiet river, or a puddle after rain could show a human face for a few seconds. But water is not a good mirror. It moves, it bends the image. It depends on light, weather, and stillness. Touch it, and your face disappears. One ripple, and you are no longer looking at yourself, but at a broken version of yourself. At first, nature was the mirror: a still pond, a dark puddle, a wet rock after rain, a shiny shell on the ground. Anything smooth enough to catch light could give ancient humans a glimpse of themselves. But these reflections were accidental. They were weak, unstable, and easy to lose. Then something changed. Humans started making reflections on purpose. One of the earliest useful materials was obsidian, a dark volcanic glass. When polished carefully, it could reflect a face. Not perfectly, like a modern mirror, but enough to see eyes, a nose, a mouth, a shape looking back. Imagine an ancient person holding a black stone and slowly realizing the strange face inside it was their own. Later, people used polished metals. Copper, bronze, silver, and other shiny surfaces became better tools for reflection. But even these mirrors were not bright, cheap, or everywhere. They had to be made, polished, protected, and owned. For many people, seeing yourself clearly may still have been rare. So the history of mirrors is not one sudden invention. It is more like a slow visual upgrade. First, your face appears in water. Then it appears in stone. Then in dark glass. Then in metal. And much later, in the clear glass mirrors we treat as normal today. The strange part is that humans were not just trying to make shiny objects. They were learning how to capture an image that used to vanish. A reflection in water disappeared with one touch. A polished surface kept it there, waiting. That means mirrors did something almost magical for ancient humans. They took a fragile moment, a face floating on water, and turned it into an object you could hold. But here is the part that feels strange. Before clear mirrors, ancient humans still cared about how they looked. They still fixed their hair, cleaned dirt from their skin, painted their faces, wore ornaments, shaped their bodies, and used appearance to show status, identity, beauty, power, or belonging. So they were not careless. They were just less alone with their image. If your face paint was wrong, someone else might notice. If you looked sick, tired, dirty, attractive, frightening, or ready for a ritual, other people saw it before you did. Your appearance was partly managed through the eyes of your group. Today, a mirror lets you check yourself privately. You can judge your own face before anyone else does. But before mirrors, your face was not fully yours to inspect. It lived outside you, in reactions, comments, gestures, and attention. In a way, ancient humans did not just lack mirrors, they had human mirrors. So what did ancient humans do before mirrors? They used whatever could reflect them: still water, wet surfaces, shiny stones, polished obsidian, and eventually metal. But for most people, seeing their own face clearly was not an everyday habit. It was rare, brief, and imperfect. They did not live surrounded by their own image like we do. They saw themselves in fragments: a ripple, a shadow, a dark surface, or the reaction of another person. Mirrors did not just show humans their faces, they gave humans a new way to meet themselves. Before mirrors, your face was not something you checked before leaving home. It was something you discovered in pieces, in water, in stone, in metal, and in the eyes of people around you. Maybe the first mirror was never an object. Maybe it was another human looking back.